Well,
so for the listeners and viewers who've never done a hangout on air, there's like a little icon in the upper right corner of the screen that that's goes from off air to like a yellow live button, and so like 20 seconds before we start, we're all kind of staring at this like button, waiting for it to turn yellow.
And for those of you who listen to our podcast, whenever I listen to episodes, I always lose the first couple of minutes because I'm always laughing at Oak's version of Bob.
Yeah.
Oak's equivalent of Bob is like trying to throw with your non-dominant arm.
It's like trying to kick Goofy.
It sounds nothing like Bob. It sounds like a lot of other things. It sounds like a fucking police siren. It sounds like a toaster shooting toast out, but it doesn't sound like Bob Dylan.
I would love it.
I've sort of mentally lost the thread of what we're trying to accomplish with that sound. It's like when you say a word over and over too many times, and it disassociates from its meaning.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I just am making noise at this point.
It's also the equivalent of going as a whistle.
No, when you go wee wee instead of whistling. Wee wee.
Me and my brothers and cousins started that.
Oh, you did? You invented it?
Yeah, I invented it.
My grandmother used to call all the children to her by going, she had 6 kids, and they would always all go out on all these adventures, and she would freak out about having lost them, and then she would call the kids and be like, coo-coo, coo-coo. That was her call.
Standing on a bench screaming at the top of her lungs. That was like the bat signal to the children.
And we would all actually just be standing all around her, not even far away, and she would be like, coo-coo.
But we would be trying so hard to melt into the ground with
so embarrassed.
We would be invisible.
Right.
She knew what she was doing because she could have easily said, Liz, Oak.
Right.
Let me fucking embarrass these fuckers.
Right. And then she'd be like, here is a sandwich that I saved for you for 30 years in my freezer. You should eat this now.
Here's this tuna salad sandwich.
Exactly.
That I only recently put in the freezer.
Dope turn of events. Bean is moving to New York tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. The next 3 days are very stressful. Today's stressful too. I have to go to the DMV and get my driver's license renewed. But I have a really big comedy show tomorrow. I'm doing half an hour, and I'm one of only 2 comics. So
Damn, son.
I know.
Wow.
I saw the flyer for?
Yes, exactly. Justin Goff is the headliner, and I am the feature, and I'm doing half an hour, and it's in Salem, Massachusetts, which is really exciting. I love Salem because I think I would have been burnt at the stake about 400 years ago, so I'm excited that that's not going to happen.
What a great note to go out on, though.
I know. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So then Friday, I'm doing that comedy show, and then Saturday, I have my last shift at work, and then Sunday, I'm kind of packing all day, and Monday, I'm packing up the van and moving to New York.
Sweet. What did you get a U-Haul or something?
Dream tomato.
What's that?
Did you get a U-Haul or something?
No. Weirdly, all the U-Hauls were used. I guess June 1st is a big moving day for all these dipshits that are moving out of college. But I got a zip van.
You got a Liz Haul.
I got a Liz Haul. That's exactly it. So yeah, lots of big life things happening in the next 3 or 4 days.
Oh.
Which is why I look like I'm in witness protection. And
then your birthday is next week.
I'm gonna forget about my birthday completely. Who cares about that?
What a great way to usher in 40, Liz.
Yeah, totally. And the minute I land in, sorry, I missed that. I'm 42, but the minute I land in New York, I'm gonna come see Leah and her big, huge teeth that I didn't know she had. Her watermelon teeth.
You're gonna walk in and she's like, watermelon.
Yeah.
Badly stained with watermelon.
Yeah. You know how birds are born with 1 tooth so they can open up their egg? Leah was born with just watermelon scrapers. Big, huge watermelon scrapers.
You're gonna go upstairs and you're gonna see in the kitchen her feet popping out of the garbage bin. She's gonna be just rifling through for watermelon rinds.
Good.
She's like, but that's what I have this tooth for. Take all the white off.
We had a barbecue the other day with some baby friends, and Leah got a whole slice of watermelon to herself, and she just attacked it, and of course, she was wearing a white sweater.
Oh.
I gave her the watermelon, and Amy comes out, and she looks like a Night of the Living Dead. She's covered in watermelon that she'd like Cookie Monster all over her white sweater. Amy was really happy with it.
Not pleased.
The best part of eating watermelon is the watermelon poop after. So you know
yeah.
she definitely gave herself a blowout on her back.
Yeah.
There are watermelons growing from her diaper pail.
That's adorable.
Why do they still make watermelon with seeds in it? Seedless watermelon is like the best thing in the world.
It's definitely like reduced seed watermelon. It just has like some of the like little white seeds as opposed to like.
Yeah, what's up with watermelons having both black and white seeds? I'm not racist or anything, but what's the difference between the two?
The white seeds are delicious. I know how racist that sounds, but they add a little bit of
the black ones are
crunch.
gross. The white ones are good.
Yeah.
But why do they have the two seeds? Does anybody know the answer to that question?
Well, I think the white seed is like a undeveloped black seed.
Oh, cool. That's a fact, and I'm going with it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Tune into this podcast for more fruit facts.
Fruit facts and sports knowledge.
When people ask me what it's about, I'm like, it's a little bit of sports and science.
Yeah. We forgot to do Shut the Fuck Up last week, I will remind you.
I know. I've been struggling for something to like rant about, but
you have to get angry again, okay?
No, get inspired by the show. We talk about enough stuff, something will trigger.
Yeah.
You know, I think part of it is working from home lately. Like, I don't have a commute, so my like general daily like level of like rage is much lower.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have a lot less rage in my life too. I keep trying to find things to get angry about. I can't get angry about them.
Well, you are moving to New York at a perfect time to get angry because
I know, summertime in New York, everything smells like garbage.
That you just took the words out of my mouth. It has like when you eat pizza and your upper lip smells like cheese like 3 hours later.
Yeah.
That's what New York smells like. Except it also smells like dirty vagina and vomit.
And like it smells like the farts that you have the day after you like eat really healthy but also like drink a lot. It's like somehow there's like an organic smell, but at the same time it's like really horrible. It's like a drunk vegetarian's farts or a drunk vegan's farts. That's what New York smells like.
Yeah, it smells like a little garbagey, but that's not because it's like healthy. It's like compost.
Right. And you know how shocking it is when you fart and your own farts smell like actual garbage. You're like, what? How did that?
My like sort of sensory memory of living in Manhattan is that it's really hot out, and for some reason I forgot to do something, so I have to walk around on the street like trying to get it done, like shopping for something or doing for something. It's really crowded. It's really hot. There's people all over the place. And just when I think I cannot be any more frustrated or angry or uncomfortable, a bus like stops in front of me and like the exhaust like radiator panel like blows all its like disgusting outgassing onto your face.
Outgassing, that's a word.
You know when you said that, I heard like
nailed by outgassing.
I heard the hiss of like the bus's brakes.
Yeah. And you just know that like wave is about to hit you. You have that like split second where you're like, you know it's coming, and you're like, fuck.
No.
And then just like this like belch of like hot bus exhaust.
And you know what hits you as soon as you get to the peak of your frustration there? You feel that little drop of sweat fall from your shoulder blade to the small of your back.
Right.
Right?
You just made that kind of sexy though.
I know, because I'm not concave like that. To me, it rolls. I wish stuff dropped from one corner. I don't have corners on my body. So there's nothing dropping. It's just sliding.
And then you turn to escape the bus exhaust, and there's a super tall guy standing next to you wearing a sleeveless t-shirt, and your face just goes right into his sweaty upper arm. And it like slides off.
And
his hair on his upper arm.
You decide you'll take the subway instead.
Yeah.
And you're waiting, and you've only lived in New York for 6 years, so you, for some reason, forget that an empty subway car is not just your good fortune.
It's a piss fest.
You step on, and it's a combination of broken air conditioning and a homeless population.
Yeah, a homeless
Yo,
population.
not kidding here. There was a fucking guy with a rotting leg on the
Oh no, that's the worst.
I've seen that guy. He used to rock it on the Upper East Side all the time. He used to expose his like gangrenous wounds. So I feel bad for him.
I've never smelled anything so bad, and I wasn't even near the car that was like empty. But when the doors opened, a guy who was in an adjacent car screams, "Don't go in there!" to anyone who was going to go in there, and you could smell it on the platform.
Oh, I wish I had the power to have my own subway car to myself. It'd be cool if I was on
that is within your power.
I know, it really is. I just have to like, how do you get gangrene?
Well, you take a melon baller and take a bunch of chunks out of your leg, and then you roll it.
This podcast brought to you by Watermelons for America.
Yeah, totally. Our new sponsor with the Asian American Society.
I mean, that's when the pod comes full circle.
Yeah.
That, folks, is what you call a callback.
That's true. That's true. Melons for America. Guys, I was out at a farm recently, and I planted some melons.
Nice.
My friend Veronica runs a little farm plot that fuels a lot of the vegetables that go to the restaurant that I work at, and I went out there and I helped her plant vegetables.
Did you spend $30 on watermelon seeds, which were just baby watermelons? Potato seeds?
Yes, I went and bought potato seeds, which are just potatoes. That was so funny.
The potato seeds were like $1. Let's be real.
Whatever. They were like more expensive than regular potatoes.
But I also this year bought onion seeds.
Which are just onions. Oak, what's your garden like this year?
Okay, so every year we're trying to learn some lessons from the garden and take it forward to the next year.
And by we mean you, because I don't think Amy gives a shit about any of this.
Well, so Amy is into it once the satisfactory results start.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
She's not into the failing garden of last year.
Right.
So we learned last year that planting everything from seeds is not the way to go. You gotta get the seedlings. So we have a bigger raised bed box, and this year we went to the like garden supply store and got a bunch of seedlings for different vegetables. So those have been more successful, and I built a better like enclosure to keep the deer out.
Oh, nice.
And so far so good.
Good.
I don't know. The baby onions seem to be going okay.
Nice.
We have a mint plant because I like the smell of mint from a garden.
You know what's nice for Leah is mint and watermelon. That's a nice treat.
Yeah.
Infused water.
Yeah, watermelon and mint infused water. What they do at Bondier is they actually start the seeds inside. He has this whole like lighting setup, and he starts them inside. You can do that in your basement if you want to, I think.
So I thought about doing that, but my goal has been to like not invest too much money each year. Like,
do you still have that light setup from when you had Stu in the apartment in New York?
That was not a light setup. That was like of like cheap closet whatchamacallit lights, fluorescent lights.
Yeah, I think that's really all you need just to get this stuff started. Do you still have those?
No, I mean I didn't. They were in California, so
right.
they were $4 a piece, and like a plywood thing that I painted white on the inside. For folks who are not privy to this shop talk, I grew a pot plant when I lived in California named Hank in a closet with fluorescent lights, and it was actually pretty successful. Like I found a seed and I just like popped it in a pot of dirt, and it sprouted, and I like nurtured it to health, and it actually produced pot.
But then you also had a plant when we lived in New York.
Yeah, that didn't really happen. Like I tried to do it again in the closet, but it was just like I don't know. The Hank was like a 1 in a million. Like for some reason, he, despite my like lack of aptitude, it thrived. The New York attempt was a total failure.
You were really paranoid about me telling people about the pot plant. You didn't
Dude,
want
He was probably more paranoid about you smoking it.
eating it. I think it's totally
it's
more.
like he comes home
I
and
saw what happened to the lunch meat.
I
didn't
know.
they
I think
have a
that's
pot
more
plant.
likely what's gonna happen. I stumbled drunk into Oak's room, and I'm like, a salad, and I ate the pot plant.
Like I didn't want to find you like in the closet with a mouthful of potting soil. Like,
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you guys remember Mad Magazine?
Yes.
I used to read it religiously, and in the back they'd have a comic. And there was one comic where, and I remember thinking it was so cool because it was like it showed nudity, and I was like, oh shit, I can't believe Mad Magazine's showing this. And this guy is on the beach, and he discovers it was in the 80s because I think it was in reference to Splash. This guy's on the beach, and he finds this mermaid, and she's topless, and she has like big boobs and stuff, and he's like in love with her, and he brings her home, and he's showing her off to everyone, like I found a mermaid, and then he like goes out to the store and comes back with like flowers and stuff. And his wife's standing in the kitchen, and you just see like a giant fishtail coming out of this huge pot on the stove. So
Oh!
Google effects.
Google effects.
So I can just imagine you like nurturing Hank and like being so happy to come home and see him. He's your first kid. He's like pre-Leah, like your first child, and then you can't wait to come home. You bought him like an accessory, a little charm to hang from his leaves. You get there and Liz has like a face full of dirt, and she just turns and looks at you. Her eyes light up like a deer.
No, I like try to cook the plant like spaghetti, and I'm like, oh, I made you spaghetti. Why don't you love me?
I made you biscottis. And Jen goes, can you cut them up for me? When they're so long.
Jen's asleep in the hallway of our apartment.
My spaghetti hair.
I tried to make a smoothie recently. I've been really into making smoothies. I was over at Veronica's house again, and I tried to make a smoothie with wheatgrass and a bunch of other things, and I didn't chop up the wheatgrass, talking about chopping up spaghetti, and it just got like really tangled around the blade and broke the Vitamix that she was using. So just FYI, if you're ever, that was a stupid story, but we were talking about spaghetti.
Wait, that she was using or that she paid for and now has to replace?
That she paid for and now has to replace. Also, when I was planting the vegetables in her garden, I chopped a hole in one of her irrigation pipes, and so there was like a huge puddle of like.
Did you just put dirt on it and like?
I'm the worst farmer ever.
You're the worst house guest.
I know.
I dropped some logs in her bathroom. So I went to the other bathroom to finish and fucked that toilet up too.
Yeah, I'm like, I tried to kill this spider with flames in her living room, and somehow her house burned down. I don't really know what happened.
That reminds me of another joke. You guys care if I tell it?
No.
A guy goes to pick up his friend from the airport, and he goes, hey, how come, you're not using my car? How come you're using yours? And he's like, oh, well, I have some bad news. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, you got your car in an accident. And he's like, oh, man. And he's like, well, what happened? And he goes, well, I like drove over a shovel and like ruined the car. And he goes, well, what did you have the shovel out for? And he goes, well, I had to bury your dog, and I needed to dig a hole in the ground, and so I left the shovel out. And he goes, well, you buried my dog. Like, you just said you had a little bit of bad news. How did my dog die? And he goes, well, he jumped in the pool. And he goes, but my dog knows how to swim. And he goes, well, we had to drain the pool to put out the fire in the house, and so the dog jumped into the empty pool. And he goes, I had a fire in my house. And he goes, yeah. He goes, well, how'd that happen? And he goes, well, a candle fell over and like everything got on fire. He goes, well, what fucking caused the house fire? And he goes, well, we had your mom's funeral, and he goes, my mom died. How did my mom die? And he goes, well, she walked in on me and your wife having sex. And it just goes, I definitely didn't do it any justice, but it's a good joke. Hey, yes!
Everybody thought it was so funny.
I did it all for the Google effect.
Bizzle, how was your audition? You had an audition.
I have no idea. So I got an email last Sunday saying like, hey, come in for an audition on Tuesday, and I was so excited, and they sent me a script for an Irish cop in his 30s. So I was like, okay, so much for not fitting a type, right? So I go there, and I was like super nervous, and it was on a work day, so I didn't have a ton of time to practice my lines. So I was like, fuck, I wish I had taken the day off and really like focus on it. It was like fucking 6 lines. And I get to the place where I was having the audition, and the one other person waiting for his turn was my friend Tim, who's an actor.
God.
And I was like, wow, this is so weird. My first audition ever, and I go in here, and the person in the waiting room is someone I actually know, and someone who's really fucking good. So, but this is why I love Tim, because he wasn't like, oh shit, you're my competition. Like, we were talking about, because it was supposed to be like a 1937 scene, so like one of the things that you do in the scene is a phone rings, so you have to pick it up, and he was like, I don't know if you've considered, how you're going to pick up the phone. He's like, but I'm going to use my cell phone because I think, like, whatever, you have to work with what you're given, and this is 2015. And I was like, wow, he didn't even have to tell me that. I was planning on doing the whole, like, putting your pinky to your mouth and your thumb to your ear. And he's like, no, I think that looks kind of cheesy. And then I was like, what? I can't believe this guy's offering me pointers. Anyway, we both auditioned. I sent a note the following morning just thanking them for the opportunity to audition. I never heard back from them. I connected with him yesterday. He said he never heard back from them either. I think it was a cool experience regardless. But it was fucking scary. The casting director, when I walked in, she was like, okay, breathe. I was like, I am breathing. She goes, you're not breathing. I was like, wow, I didn't even realize I'm not breathing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people did you have to like perform in front of? Was it just one person?
It was 2, and the crazy thing was, I had no idea this even happens in auditions, but you had the lines that you prepare, they call them sides, and then after that, they're like, all right, you have to do some improv. We're going to just give you one line, and you have to just riff off of it and create the scene. And I was like, man, thank God I've been taking improv, because I had no idea this shit happens.
What was the line they gave you?
Why'd you kill your wife? Which was like,
why not? That's what would have been my answer. Why not? And then I would have walked out.
and I panicked because, well, I'm supposed to deliver why'd you kill your wife because I'm the cop.
Oh, okay.
But the second they told me that, all I could think about was the person who I was running lines with. I was like, please don't kill this scene. Because in improv, you learn, like, you both have to volley. You can't just, like, one person can't just, like, spike the ball. And I was like, I hope she gives me something to work with. And she goes, I didn't. And I was like, oh, fuck you. Give me something to work with.
I did. That's would have been my response too.
So what did I go with? Yes, you did.
We know you did. Your DNA evidence is all over the scene. We have eyewitness testimony.
It was kind of like when there's that one. It's like that movie scene where there's the one kid who doesn't speak the entire movie, and then there's like a singing opportunity as the voice of an angel. I was like so clammy and nervous, and I was like, I'm going to totally fuck this up. And then I just went off on her because I think I was a little angry that she just tried killing the scene for me and be like, no, I didn't. So I created this whole scenario. I was like, we found needles in your car, and she was terrified of needles. You knew when she delivered. And the casting director afterwards was like, the story you made up is nothing like what was in the script, but I like that you did that. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that there were details about how the woman died. I'll go home now. I'll pack my 30-year-old tuna fish sandwich that Muggo left me.
Yeah, go home.
I'll head off to the office now. Thanks.
That
was that. Yeah. What inspired me though to pursue acting even harder? My pick of the week this week. I don't know if you guys have seen Mad Max Fury Road.
I heard it's really
I heard it's so good. I haven't been able to go.
It is so good. And you know how you know it's good? That I don't even know what the movie was about, and I fucking loved it.
Oh, let's go see that movie at the end of next week.
Okay.
Cool. I also want to see the new Terminator movie. That looks really fun. Even though Arnold Schwarzenegger's
by the last one.
When does that come out?
It hurt my heart.
Yeah, but I always forget about all the ones except for Terminator 2.
Sarah.
So, okay. I'm going to go with a couple of picks of the week, but my throwback pick of the week is the Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show. Anyone ever watch that?
Yeah, I love it.
Dude, it's so fucking good.
It's really good.
So good.
Yeah.
And that was on around about the same time the last Terminator movie came out. So I'm watching this series had all these like high hopes that the movie would have something to do with the series or at least be of the quality of the series. No such luck.
No such luck.
But Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles got canceled, of course, as all good shows are want to do. But it is awesome. So go on Netflix or Amazon or whatever and watch it.
And it's the woman who plays Sarah Connor is what's her Cersei from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
and she's like a really like good, strong, awesome character. And when to like watch her be Cersei is like really weird because she's also strong. She's also terrible bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Connor.
She's a terrible bitch.
Doesn't that sound like him? Sarah Connor.
You nailed it. You're right up there with a Bob Dylan impression.
I think you can take that impression on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah, especially because.
Who is your daddy and what does he do? It's not a tumor.
It's not a surfboard.
Wait, when does a new Terminator come out?
I don't know, sometime. I saw a commercial for it.
Guys, I have to say, though, I can't watch stuff that doesn't have good-looking people in it anymore. I think the reason why I enjoyed Mad Max so much was because Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy are like two of the best-looking people on the planet. And for that, I certainly blame online porn.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when I was younger, before I discovered online porn, I would watch like Mad About You. I would watch Seinfeld. Like I was a kid staying up till like 11 o'clock at night to watch Mad About You in syndication. Like there's nothing good about that show.
That's true. Why did we watch that show? It was not good.
Yeah. And I could watch anything, and now I can't watch anything that doesn't have attractive people in it. So Mad Max had like fucking supermodels in it. They had Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. It had Lenny Kravitz's daughter, Zoe Kravitz. Like everyone in the movie was really good looking. Even the people who were supposed to be ugly were good looking. And I was like, that you can't employ ugly actors anymore. Philip Seymour Hoffman was the last.
And it also goes to show that in a post-apocalyptic world, everyone is really good looking. Only the good looking survive. That's how it's going to be.
But you know what I was also thinking about how much sex would have sucked in those scenarios.
I feel that way about olden times. I feel like castle sex, that must have been fucking gross.
Everyone was super smelly.
So smelly. Everyone had like scabs everywhere, I bet.
There wasn't toilet paper. Like you didn't.
No, it was Dingleberry City.
Yeah, what did they do instead of toilet paper? When was toilet paper invented?
I don't know. Probably when the fucking somebody famous died of like some butt.
I mean, you probably kept like a wooden spoon next to the chamber pot.
I mean, think of
there
like
was just
Game
like a
of
patch
Thrones
of grass
sex.
next to the toilet. Yeah, right. Game of Thrones sex sounds gross, and there was like so many blankets, and the blankets were made of like recently dead animals. Ugh, right. It would be like being on the subway.
All I could think about was like really coarse blankets, like really like damp but coarse, like billowy blankets.
And literally no showers. Like there was no such thing.
None. They didn't have any showers. Mm-hmm. And the mattresses were all stuffed with like horse hair and like hay. Ugh, gross. No wonder everyone was drunk all the time. I would have been too. Everything was so gross. I don't really have a pick of the week this week. Are we doing it?
Yeah, I have another pick of the week actually.
Oh God.
So I haven't finished it, but I recently started the new Neil Stephenson book, Seven Eves. I think it's pronounced Seven Eves. It's spelled Seven Eves, but I've never heard it said. But anyway, basically the first paragraph of the book, the moon blows up, and then stuff happens from there. But his books are really long. Like this book's 900 pages or something, and I was like excited to start it, but also like, man, this is going to be a commitment. But as soon as I opened it, and the first line of the book was, on such and such day, the moon blew up, and I was like,
I'm in.
I'm all in.
I'm all in.
You just got me. How do I? Seven Eves, you called it?
Yeah, I'll tweet a link to it.
He's so funny because his book before that, Reamdy or whatever it was.
I haven't read that.
It's good. I really liked it, but for the first like 300 pages, I was just reading, is it Read Me? And then I realized.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't read Read Me. Or Reamdy or whatever.
Reamdy.
That I read. I did like that. That was good.
I thought it was
I didn't read the other one. The one before that.
Was that Anathema?
Yeah, Anathema.
I couldn't make it through that one. I couldn't finish it.
Why does he name this shit? Why does he use Albanian names for
right?
for book names, book titles?
They're all like computer words. He's
Oh.
like a computer dirt.
Reamd is a common typo of README, which is a file that's included in a lot of like code bases to like tell you what you're supposed to do.
Right, and the whole book is about a computer virus that's just like a little. It's like basically just a typo that causes all this like havoc in this video game that causes havoc.
But it's a computer like that actually happened. Like people there's a virus called the crypto locker.
Right.
That do the same thing.
Didn't affect me because I don't have any money anyway.
The plot was that there was a virus that gets onto your computer and encrypts your hard drive, and you have to go to this like place in an online, massively multiplayer online game to pay the like gangsters like a fee in order to unlock your drive, and
Right.
you know, mayhem ensues.
Right. Super cool stuff happens, and there's
Yes.
this like the character is this like nerd software engineer programmer, but he's also like a badass, which is all of Neil Stephenson's characters. I don't know if any of those people actually exist in the real world.
They're like Michael Crichton characters.
Yeah, exactly. Like super badass nerds.
Mm-hmm.
I need to read more. You guys make me feel really dumb.
I haven't.
Reading's awesome.
Oh, you like crash through these books. It's insane. I've like been on the same book for 3 months.
Do you guys remember?
Touch of insomnia, perhaps.
Yeah.
Remember that? I don't know if you guys had it in Massachusetts, but in New York we had this like reading comprehension exercise, and you would escalate like from one color, and then the top was like gold, and so you had to do these. You had to read something from like the blue section, and then answer some questions. It was all part of like learning reading comprehension, and you would just graduate to different colors throughout the course of the year. And everyone was at their own pace, but like you would feel competition because you'd see like, oh, someone else was up to green or whatever. And I remember lying about what color was on. And even to this day, I feel like I don't have the best reading comprehension because I'll have to read. It's not like I'll just get distracted for one paragraph, but I'll have to read things over and over again to really understand what I'm supposed to do.
I mean, I think as all of us get older and continue to like be in the internet and on our phones, I think it's just it's become more difficult for all of us to concentrate. I have to reread pages and pages of the book that I'm reading too. It's just like I just get so distracted so easily.
I find that myself too. Sometimes I'll find myself reading a couple of pages and not having like taken in any of it.
Yeah.
Then you can go back, right?
Yeah.
I don't go back. I'm just like, fuck this.
I'll pick it up later on.
I'm going to challenge myself to fill in the void. Much like I do with my own life, I just fill in the blanks with my own assumptions.
Yeah.
I'll create the story.
That absolutely is life. I do that. Sometimes I'll like join a movie halfway through, and people will like start to explain the plot to me. I'm like, shut up! I'll figure it out. I'm sure I can like discern the plot from what's going on. And, like,
right. I'll either figure it out or I won't. But let's not struggle through this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to ruin it for everyone because you're probably going to explain the plot badly anyway. So let me just watch the rest of this movie.
I also am bad at remembering what happens in movies too, though, because you guys have seen the movie Divergent, right?
Nope.
No.
Oh, it's so good. You guys are
in like months.
Oh, it's so good. You guys should. I think it's even available on Netflix. You should definitely watch it.
Okay.
One of my friends who always gives me shit for not paying attention or remembering things. He's into like all this like sci-fi, like dystopian future shit, and he had told me to watch. We had seen Divergent in the movie theater, and then this is last year or maybe even longer ago, and then he had told me to watch Snowpiercer like over the Christmas holidays, and I was like, oh, so I watched Snowpiercer, and then I watched Divergent, and I forgot that I had seen Divergent, and I was like, I'm gonna drop some knowledge here, and I'm gonna come up with an awesome movie recommendation. I was like, yo, you have to see this movie Divergent, and he's like, we saw it opening weekend, and I had no recollection of this movie whatsoever. But here I thought, like, yes, I have a rec, like, I know something about this shit, and he was like, yeah, we saw it together.
Did you like Snowpiercer?
I did. I was a little disappointed at the end.
I didn't like it.
It had Tilda Swinton in it. She could be in anything, and I like it.
Yeah, I love Tilda.
But there was what's her name? Who's the chick from The Help that won an Oscar?
Oh, Octavia.
You always come up with names.
That's genetic.
That's genetic. Yeah, I got that from my mama.
The guy from Transparent. She goes, oh, oh, and then just like shot his name out.
Yeah, totally. I give birth to these names.
Yeah. There's one scene where they're like talking about eggs, and Octavia Spencer like tries to get someone's attention, so she just grabs an egg and cracks it on the girl's forehead because she's like brainwashed. That's the only scene I remember in that movie, but I remember liking it.
I mean, I thought it was like, it was just too obvious what was going to happen and who everyone was. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't. I was like kept waiting for it to like surprise me, in terms of like, you know, there's like the suffering proletariat in the back or whatever, and then the elites in the front, and then like how this whole thing is going to play out. And like I kept waiting for it to be some sort of twist to the whole thing, and it just was like, yeah.
You're right. You're totally right. Like at the end, I just felt like the concept of it was genius. Like there was so much of it that I loved, and at the end, I just felt like it fell flat. I was like,
yeah, it was just like,
so much more
yeah,
of
this is kind of like what you saw happening, and nothing was like.
Yeah, totally. But Liz, you should definitely check it out.
Okay, I will. The next time I have any time. It's just like people go see. I don't know. I never watch movies. I watch like one episode of television a week. I never watch movies, and the only time I can like read is when I'm on the train on the way to work, which is a lot. But I've been trying to like meditate more on the train, so I'm not really reading as much.
You find that you fall asleep doing that?
No, not really. It's really hard for me to fall asleep on public transportation. Even when I took the bus to New York in the morning and then took it back at night, I couldn't sleep on the way. Actually, I slept on the way there. I was really tired, but I didn't sleep on the way back.
Whenever I'm doing like a long flight, I'll stay up the entire night before because I want to be able to just sleep for a lot of the flight.
Yeah.
And I'll be exhausted and I'll fall asleep for like 20 minutes and wake up and be wide awake for the next 14 hours.
Right.
And I can't sleep on transportation either.
I have to assume I'm not going to sleep on a flight.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, I can't, if I go with the assumption that I'm going to sleep, like, I'm ruined, because, especially like a red eye, like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
What is it about planes, though, like, that I feel like I get super farty on planes, and I just assume, because I don't smell them, that no one else is smelling them. Like, are airplane cushions not only flotation devices, but also, like, fart sponges?
No.
That would be genius, and that's exactly what it should be.
They're not.
So people are smelling.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone I've flown with over the last 30 years.
Why hasn't anybody ever invented that, though? There should absolutely be, like, fart-sucking technology in airplane seats, as well as bus seats.
Also, as a culture, like, why don't we object more when we smell like random strangers' farts? Like, Byron, what if you like had farted quietly and you thought, that you gotten away with it, but then someone on the plane was like, "Oh Jesus, what the fuck? Oh, it fucking stinks. I'm gonna throw up. Oh, it's so gross."
And then like
lay off the eggs.
fart accusations are like the new racism because everyone just like accuses fat people of farting, and it's like that wasn't me this time. What are you fucking?
Yeah, in New York City summer smell, people just look at me and fucking roll their eyes and suck their teeth. I'm like, it's not me. It's the entire city.
Totally.
Nothing to do with this.
I had on the bus ride back from New York when I went last week. The bus driver kept the bus like really cold. I was fucking freezing and I was super pissed about it. But then like halfway through the bus ride, I was like, this is actually genius because now so many less people on this bus smell than they would. True. So I just like suffered through the shivers and didn't smell anybody else, which was nice.
I mean, on a bus, it's definitely better to be cold than
than to like experience the smells.
Especially if the bus has a bathroom on it, because every fucking bus with a bathroom on it uses like that apple cinnamon air freshener, which is just the worst air freshener because when that mixes with shit and piss, it is 10 times more toxic.
You know what that stuff smells like is the material that they use when they put fillings in your teeth. Have you ever like smelled that the last time you went to the dentist? I swear to God, the shit that they use to the filling smell, and then the stuff that they use to like seal your fillings smells like the spray that they use.
Yes, you're 100% accurate with that.
It's probably the same stuff.
It probably
is. The other
is.
thing that I notice smells the same as well is sometimes like if you walk through a neighborhood in the city where like either a human piss or a dog piss and it's summer and it has that smell, to me it smells like pretzels. You guys don't agree?
Maybe something about like sourdough. I wonder if it's like this sour smell.
Yeah.
Pretzels? No, I don't know. It's been a long time since I will tell you in the coming weeks.
Dried pea on like a hot day to me smells like a bag of pretzels.
Yeah.
Dude, you gotta get different pretzels.
I mean, I don't mind it. I love a good pretzel with mustard. Guys,
Kind of salty.
my other pick of the week, we've often talked about how, and this doesn't include Oak because Oak's probably never listened to a Beyonce song.
Yeah.
But, one of the best.
Oh, what's that song you like? Lose My Breath? I think you really love that song. I don't know. I remember being astonished that you really like that song. Anyway, carry on.
So at least 2/3 of this pod, and not our co-host Oakley Hall or our executive producer / arch nemesis Leah Hall. We love the song "EXO" by Beyonce, and whenever it comes up on my iPhone, I just can't help but listen to it. But I realized that one of my favorite songs for the summer is "How We Do" by fellow Albanian Rita Ora. It's a perfect summer jam. So I just put it back in circulation. It's on my morning walk to work playlist, and it's the perfect walk dance song. So thanks, Rita.
I didn't know Rita Ora was Albanian. That's cool.
Yeah, she's a hardcore Albanian. She was born there, and then she looks black, which is like the kind of Albanian.
That's why I was always confused. I thought she was like black or Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I mean, when people told me she was Albanian, I was like, no way. She looks like Beyonce, right. But she's 100% Albanian. She actually fled Kosovo during the ethnic cleansing. That's why she grew up in London. Wow. Yeah.
Cool.
So I honestly wish that people didn't mistake me for Irish or Polish. Like I wish people were like, oh, Byron's black.
I think that mistake has probably happened before.
Yeah, before they meet me, but like it actually bums me out. Like this guy started at my job and I had to take him for coffee the other day. So his manager said, "Oh, what are you doing now? Do you have a meeting?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm meeting with Bayram." And I overheard. I was like, "Yeah, that's me. We'll head out right now." I was just like running late. And so when we were walking, I didn't even know what his name was. To be honest, I actually still don't know what his name is. And he asked me, he's like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "New York." And he goes, No, like your ethnicity. And I was like, "Albanian. Why? Are you?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "I just thought you were Indian when I got the calendar invite." And I was like, "Okay, well this coffee's off to awesome start."
This is going great. Sorry to disappoint.
I've got to figure out his name before he gets in this morning.
Yeah, totally. I I've had the same therapist for like 6 years, and I've been in the same therapy group for like 4 years. And I had my last of both on Tuesday this past week, and I had my last like therapy group on Tuesday. And I realized before I got to the group that I didn't know the name of like 3 members of the group, because there were like newish members, people that had, but like some of these people had been in the group for like a year, but we never have any reason to like refer to each other by name. Like I'm not doing a lot of like, "Hey Megan, like let's talk about your like abusive boyfriend or whatever." So I realized at the end, like I was like, gonna try and like say something nice about everyone in the group, but I like didn't know anybody's name, so I was like, "And you seem like a really good teacher." But it's because everyone knows my name, because I was like one in the group for the longest out of everyone. So, and also I was leaving, so it was like a big deal. But I felt bad because I didn't like know 3 people's names.
Wait, what's a therapy group?
It's just a group of it was like basically 6 women that we would just meet every week and like talk for an hour and a half. And there was
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like there was a group kind of like moderator, and she would basically just make sure that we were on track, and like anytime there was any sort of like conflict, she would like bring us back to whatever. But yeah,
so it's like the first podcast.
Yes, basically the first podcast.
So you guys were like talking over each other, and there was a lot of dead air, and
yeah, and somebody would always freeze.
And you would start everything off with a bob. And
yeah,
like,
always did. Like, what is that sound?
Like, I think the one with bird's nest hair is having a seizure.
Yeah, exactly. But her seizure sounds weirdly like "Tangled Up in Blue" by Bob Dylan. I'm going to do, so I have one of my last open mics tonight, and it's this open mic that I really like because it's called New Material, No Material, so you like you don't bring anything that you've like ever done at any other mic before, and since I've never done the Bob on a microphone, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do Bob Dylan using a weed whacker, yeah, and then I'm going to send myself out with a big old bang.
That's awesome.
I know, I'm excited.
Are we going to get video of this, or what?
Maybe, we'll see.
Also,
Depends.
we were going to do a crossover pod, right?
Yes, we have pushed that back till next week because one member of the pod. So we're going to be doing a super pod with Real Men's Team, the podcast. So if any of our listeners want to like do some homework, you can listen to Real Men's Team. It's hilarious. I was a guest on their podcast a couple of weeks ago. And it's Matt Miller, Ray Bryant, and Tyler Morrow. But this morning, Ray had like a big work thing that he couldn't avoid, so we decided to do it when we could all be together. So we're going to try and do it next week.
Can we get a link? Do we have a link to the episode you were on, or to the podcast?
Yes, absolutely. I'll send it out.
Excellent.
They're on SoundCloud. That's their like platform.
Yes.
Yeah. And YouTube. They're also on YouTube.
Liz, next Sunday is your birthday, or is your birthday Saturday?
My birthday is actually Friday, I think.
Okay. Next Sunday, if you're available, when I get out of improv class, we should meet in the West Village, and then you can do open mic at my friend's comedy.
Yes, that's it. It's on the books. We're doing it. That's awesome. I'm like really I really want to. So my plan when I get to New York is I kind of am gonna basically just start everything over. Like I'm gonna actually read all the books that I said I was gonna read, and I'm gonna like take some online comedy courses, and I'm just gonna kind of like start over, because I think I've kind of I've conquered my stage fright. I'm not nervous to get up on stage anymore. Now I really just need to like learn the craft of it.
Yeah.
So that is my plan. So I'm excited to kind of get started. I really want to like start doing open mics right away so I don't get intimidated by the idea of being there and not starting. So.
Yeah, that Sunday you automatically have a spot in there, and however long you want it to be.
Okay, wow, that's cool.
And I feel bad because I actually gave this guy that not so great shout out for my on this podcast a couple weeks ago, because he was the one when we started at UCB. He, instead of using an alliterative adjective, he was like, "I'm Big Suarez," and I was like, "You dick!" Like, I always go by Big Byron. You can't be Big Suarez, and Big Suarez is a fucking great guy, and so he's trying to make it happen as a comic, and he's like, "Listen, if you ever want to do an open mic night, you have a spot on my show, and it's open to your friends too."
And it's in the West Village. That's cool.
Yeah, Gotham Comedy Cellar or some shit like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's right below Cotti Roll on McDougal Street, so the whole room smells like Indian spices, which is like fucking great.
Nice. I think probably my best. I don't know. I think there's probably going to be more ridiculous. I've had comedy shows in some ridiculous places, but I had a comedy show on last Tuesday that was basically just at this woman's house, and the show was like in her living room. And when I first got there, I was like, this is going to suck, but it ended up being like the best night of comedy I've ever done. And then 2 days later, I had another comedy show on a Thursday, and it was like booked by this like comic that I really like named Jer Palapal. He's awesome. And it was at a hostel in Boston, and I was like, oh, this is going to be like kind of cool. But I walk in, and there were zero audience members except for one Asian guy. I don't know why I need to add the Asian back, but sleeping in a beanbag, like literally in the middle of like the room where we were doing comedy. There was like chairs set up, and then there was an aisle in the middle, and he was sleeping on a beanbag in the aisle in the middle of all the chairs.
Nice.
And it was he stayed there halfway through the show. It was awesome.
That sounds oddly comforting. Like, I want to go do that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's like this place. I actually kind of want to go back and take naps at this place because there were like beanbags everywhere. Hostels are the best. Except for the
Hostels are pretty sweet.
hostel in the movie Hostel, which looked really kind of terrible.
That was less sweet.
That was less sweet.
Yeah, the Asian girl who escapes and her eye is hanging out of the socket.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
I saw that movie in a hostel.
Did
wow.
you?
Meta.
Pretty meta, right?
So meta. Yes, so to pick up on my goal of trying to start over a comedy, I think I might have talked about this book about a year ago when I actually first started reading it, but I'm restarting the book, The Comic Toolbox by John Voorhouse. And so that is my pick of the week. I've gotten much further into it, and I'm actually going to finish it this time. I promise. John. Yeah.
All right, kids. I have to punch in at the office. I can see the little people are making noises at me.
God.
Zitty.
I love you, Bean. Keep me posted on your plans. I'd love to help in any way that I can.
Okay, cool. I will absolutely let you know.
This is the last time we'll be a tri-state pod.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty soon we're just going to be a bi-state pod.
We're going to be a metropolitan area.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh. All right,
All right.
y'all. I love
Love you,
you.
Pops. Love you guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Peace.